Good morning. Actually, hold on a second. There we go. Now, good morning. Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred on this date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, some music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander.
I am Loki like him.
And you, viewer, are you, of course. Today is Tears' Day. Is it Tears' Day? Yes, it is. A.K.A. Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Oh, look at that. 2323. Anyway, Mr. Loki, would you like to start today?
Alright, we have the Battle of Khan? 1040 Battle. I'm not saying that again.
Yeah.
Tug Haril's Seljuk army defeats Ghaznavid force near Merv, present day Turkmenistan, brings about the fall of the Ghaznavid Empire.
Dang.
Well, those are some heck of a names.
All right, look at that. Tugril, as they said there, he was a founder of the Seljuk Empire. So, yeah, his Seljuk army went in there and destroyed another empire. Wow. So...
Moving on down to 1059, Henry the First crowns his son King Philip the First, called the Amorous of France.
What is amorous? Showing feeling or relating to sexual desire. Ooh. And yikes, whoa, what is this furry crap that... Wow. Why is Markiplier in here? Oh, no. Wow.
Because he's being dragged into so many different things, the poor prick.
Yikes. Wow, so King Philip I called the Amorous, so he was sexually insatiable, it sounds like. That's not somebody I would want as a king, but I guess I wouldn't have a choice. Anyway.
No. 1275, King Edward I of England orders cessation of persecutions of French Jews.
So basically he's ordering it to a stop. He's like, hey, stop persecuting these Jews. Like, enough. So, even back then people had a heart. Edward I... So you can even say in his face, in that painting, he is just riddled with compassion. So.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Jews, we got this one here, and this is just like, what do you want from me situation. We got 1420 Jews of Syria. I'm sorry?
The both of them are about Jews.
I know, no, like one leads into another. Like, the second one especially is very confusing. 1420 Jews of Syria and Austria were expelled. All right, and then 1 year later, Jews of Austria were imprisoned and then expelled. So you kicked them out, and a year later you put them into prison, and then you kick them out again. What do you want from them? Leave them alone. Fuck.
I swear to God, the Jews have it really bad.
I mean, not every ass kicking drops out of the sky. Like, yeah, the Jews have been the punching bag of everybody, for thousands of years, but, in many cases, not without warrant, Over 200 countries over the past 5,000 years can't all be wrong, So.
No, but like some people got to be innocent in the conflict, but.
Yeah, what were we talking about earlier involving our own little situation? It takes two to tango, but it takes one to start. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's always innocent people caught in the middle of the conflict as well.
That is true. Like that one song from Hobson, if he hangs out with other people like of his color, he's worried that he'll get in trouble because hooliganism, like
right.
It's a sick, sad world out there. So
it really is.
Anyway, we also got here 1430. Joan of Arc was captured at Compiègne, I think, and sold to the English. Wow. So that sounds like the French sold themselves out,
Yeah, they.
or whoever.
Well, didn't they burn her at the stake for being like blasphemous or something?
No, they burned her at the stake for leading a successful campaign against the English during the 100 Years' War. She fought on the side of the French, and she was 19 and a woman. You know, like that is unprecedented in today's world. You know that's borderline like almost impossible. Back then, that is just unimaginable. You know, but she did it. You know, Joan of Arc, bam, badass mother trucker. You know,
she was the most badass female of her time.
Yeah. So, anyway, back to you, sir. 1493.
All right. 1493, King Charles. Oh no, where's my... I forgot about my Roman numerals.
Okay, let's work this out. What's V?
V is 5, so... that is... so... 13?
No. 8.
No. 8?
5, 6, 7, 8.
That's right. 3 after 8, 5 is 8.
I don't want to make a joke about your
math. My math is terrible. I barely passed in high school. Leave me alone.
Yikes.
And I still passed with a 60, so that's something.
Hey, you got that D.
Anyway, Charles VIII and Maximilian the First of Austria signed a peace. Senils. Is that just like a treaty?
Yeah, Peace of Senils. Let's look that up here real quick. The Treaty of Senils. Wait, is this 1493? Yes, here we go. Concerning the Burgundian succession was signed at Senils. Always on 23rd of May, 1493, between Manuel the Handsome, Archduke of Austria, and King Charles VIII of France. All right. For further reading on this subject, please refer to the underbar in the description below. The link to this Wikipedia will be there after the live stream, so hang tight. Anyway, you got some Danish history.
Yay, my people!
Yeah.
Or one of my people.
Part of your people.
Yes, part of my ethnic background, I should say. 1544, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V? Yeah, Charles V recognizes King Christian III of Denmark. Oh, nice.
All right. Oh, hey, look at that.
Look at that, a pope. 1555, Guillaume Pietro Carafa elected Pope Paul. Oh, what is that? The 4th.
Yes. There you go.
I had to think about that one.
Hey, you're learning Roman numerals. Look at that, man. It's awesome.
Awesome. And do you believe that was my third, wasn't it?
I believe so. We're going to move up here to 1568. The Netherlands declared independence from Spain. I did not know they were a colony of Spain or a protectorate or whatever. But, all right. That's kind of on the opposite side. You know, Spain's on the south, Netherlands up on the north. Like, and there's France in between. You know, you'd think that there'd be some contest there.
Well, Spain went to a lot of places.
That they did. But then we got 1576. This is cool. King Frederick of Denmark offered island to Haveen, the island of Haveen, to the astronomer and nobleman Tycho Brahe to build an observatory. All right, he's straight up like, hey, I have this island, you know, build an observatory. Let's look at the stars. That's cool. So, anyway, moving on up to, let's see, we got that 1618. Yeah, here we go. The second defenestration of Prague 2 Catholic lords, regent, and their secretary are thrown out of a window and amazingly are not seriously injured by the 70-foot fall, 21 meters by the way, but this did trigger the 30 Years' War. Yikes. They threw people out of a window. What the hell?
Damn, what the hell, man?
Like yesterday, we were talking about like in the U.S. politics, like how somebody was caning someone, like.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like
they whacked him over the head with a cane, and now people are getting thrown out windows. What the hell is this?
Yeah, like this is why I'm saying, why I'm having such a hard time, trying to figure things out, all the stuff in the background with the Omni Coalition. Like, people are willing to come to blows for their beliefs, then how do you talk them down and talk civilly, Like, we got people throwing people out of the window here. Like, how do you talk civilly when they do that? Like, sometimes it's just impossible. So, anyway, what else do we have here? 1660, King Charles II returned from exile, sailing from Scheveningen to England. Okay? And you get to talk about William Kidd. Ooh.
Oh, 1701. Captain William Kidd is hanged in London after being convicted of piracy and the murder of William Moore.
Captain Kidd, one of the most notorious, well, not notorious, but one of the most well-known, maybe notorious, privateers, aka pirates. Like, the whole thing about piracy, a lot of people don't know. Sorry, hold on, I'm on a rant here.
Yeah, no.
The whole thing about piracy, a lot of people don't know, is it wasn't just a bunch of people like, oh, hey, let's go and, like, screw with the British and steal their riches. No, like, they were actually, they were mercenary, like privateers, like, they were mercenaries hired by governments to fight other governments. So that's why, you had pirates only raiding English ships or French ships or, Spanish ships or whatever, because they're being paid by other governments to essentially fight a proxy war,
Well, did you also know that not only, they didn't only steal gold, and more often than not, pirates didn't steal gold. They would actually steal more valuable things, like furs that were actually useful, and other items that were useful for them.
Like food.
To continue food, furs, lamp oil, stuff like that. Things that were actually useful. Yes, gold can be useful, coins can be useful, but they didn't prioritize it like the movies say they do.
That would make sense.
It wasn't the end-all, be-all.
That would make sense because gold is heavy, and the heavier the item, especially if there's more of it, like you're spending more time transferring it from ship to ship. You're putting a load on your ship, making yourself slower. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, a lot of times they say they would dump the gold in a certain place. Yeah, that was true. That's because it was too heavy for their ships half the time.
Yeah.
And they would just leave it somewhere and come back for it and then deal with it. But like I said, majority of the time what they were stealing were items of necessity. Like, because you can make, they would sail places that were kind of cold sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So the furs were necessary.
Mm-hmm.
The lamp oils were necessary. Like, all these items were just necessities.
The fur trade was such a big deal back in those times. I don't remember who it was.
That's another thing.
But he started a fur trade out here in the Americas, and he became America's first millionaire. Back in let me look this up. U.S. first millionaire fur trade. John Jacob. No, it wasn't him. Fur trade. Was it him? John. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. John Jacob Astor was head of the Astor family. We remember that name from Titanic. His family dynasty, and the first millionaire in the United States, primarily making his fortune in the fur trade, real estate, and opium. So, he was a drug dealer. Yikes.
Back then, opium wasn't quite as cracked down on, I don't think.
Definitely not. It was still known.
They were using it to try and cure some things, weren't they?
Hell, opium is still a major trade in today. This is why we went to war in Afghanistan, because of the opium fields.
Yeah.
So, we go to war for God. gold, oil, and drugs. And government is addicted to opium, other people's money, opium. You know? So.
Go to war for God.
We do.
That's
Gold, oil, and
great
drugs.
acronym.
Yeah. Yeah.
As horrible as it is, but that is a good acronym to use. Oh.
Am I wrong?
Anyway, no.
But yeah, let's move on up.
No.
Let's start spitting these out. We're already 15 minutes. We're still in 1700. Look. So.
Yeah, holy crap. Is it me?
Yes.
Okay. 1706, Battle of Ramillas. During War of the Spanish Succession, John Churchill, first Duke of Marlborough, like the cigarettes?
No, that's Marlborough. This is Marlborough or something. Different spelling, same pronunciation though, I think.
Defeats French, 17,000 killed. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good grief. Okay, am I getting any of these in between, or are we going to Franklin?
This one sparked my interest.
Oh, okay. 1774, Chestertown Tea Party occurs. Tea dumped into Chester River. Ooh.
So we didn't just have a tea party in Boston. We had multiple parties. We were just dumping tea everywhere. Like, huh.
Yeah, good lord. We're moving
I wonder
on
what
up
impact that had on the environment. We were getting all the fish caffeinated.
They were probably zipping around and getting babies.
Oh, God.
Caffeinated babies.
Caffeinated babies. Yikes.
Yikes.
I'm not even a parent, but that scares me.
That does scare me as well, and I am a parent.
Yeah, watch what you say.
No, what's actually terrifying is, well, I'll talk about this with you after the show.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's appropriate right now. 17... I'm glad I caught myself on that one. Yay! 1785, Benjamin Franklin announces his invention of bifocals. The glasses.
All right. Yeah, bifocals, if anybody does not know that, it's a glasses with, different prescriptions. You can, you see farther in one, you see closer in the other, So that way, you can be looking down and reading through the bottom glasses, and then you can look up and see, through the top.
Oh, I might need some of those when I get old.
Now I think there's trifocals, which I don't know how you would work. It's such a narrow point in your vision where you can see in that one prescription, but
yeah, it'd be difficult, definitely.
But anyway,
if they can do it, they can do it.
Yep. We got the Constitution of the U.S. here in 1788. South Carolina became the eighth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. All right, little South Carolina.
Ratify means that they're taking it on, right?
Yes.
Like they're accepting it?
That's fine. Let's look this up. To sign or give formal consent to within a treaty, contract, or agreement, making it officially valid.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we also got just learning new words.
Hell yeah, that's the point of this show. It's all about learning. Not just for other people, but for us. It's a mutually beneficial situation. So.
A liberator.
El Liberador! In 1813, South American independence leader Simon Bolivar entered Merida, leading the invasion of Venezuela, and is proclaimed El Liberator, or the Liberator. Or Libertador. Uh-huh. Alright.
It says... Oh, okay, I see what happened there.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on up to 1845, the New York City Police Department, later the NYPD, was formed, replacing an old night watch system. All right. NYPD, happy birthday.
Whether that was good or bad, I don't know.
Well,
probably good.
Yeah.
Ish.
Well, the modern police force was a British invention with the bobbies. They were the first one. So.
That's true.
We will be talking about Canadian Mounties or something like that later on here as well. We also have, let's see here, I don't care about that, Oh, 1865, actually before that, we got 1862, Valley Campaign, Stonewall Jackson took Fort Royal in Virginia. Alright. And he was a Confederate, so that's not good.
No.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But thankfully, he died after friendly fire. He was coming back after battle, and there's the fog of war. Somebody thought he was the enemy, and they shot him. And he suffered for several days, and then succumbed to infection and whatnot. So he essentially died by friendly fire on the Confederate side, which is hilarious. So
get shot by your own men.
Yeah. Yeah, a leader a leader no less. There we go. Anyway, 1865, the flag was flown at full mast over the White House for the first time since Lincoln was shot. That lasted a while.
Wow.
Yeah. Then back to you, Mr. Loki. You got an event of interest here.
1867. Well, let's not go back in history. Let's go forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesse James gang robs bank in Richmond, Missouri. 2 die, $4,000 taken.
So 1867. 1867. How much was $4,000? It would be the equivalent of $84,620.08 today.
Good Lord.
Which I don't think that's worth two people dying. I don't know which two.
No.
I don't know if they're both the gangsters, both police, one of each. I don't know, but
honestly, I don't think any lives are worth any money. Like, I don't care how much money you're taking. Like, that's not worth 2 people.
I mean, I agree, like 100%. It seems really petty for 2 people to die over $4,000. Which would be, $84,000, not even $100,000, like today. But still.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Anyway.
1873. This one actually, and because we've been talking about Preakness, and all that stuff. So that's the first one. Yeah, here we go.
Sorry.
No worries.
Little Yanni. First Preakness stakes G. Barbie aboard Survivor wins in 2 minutes and 43 seconds at Pimlico Racecourse, Baltimore, Maryland. Good Lord.
Yep. And hey, look at that. As I said earlier, right after that, 1873 too. Your neck of the woods.
1873. Canadians' Northwest Mounted Police Force forms. It didn't get the Royal until 1904.
Oh. All right.
Weird. I thought they were always called the Royal Mounted Police.
Apparently not.
I guess not.
And then more Canadian stuff on the other side.
1887. First transcontinental train arrives in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah. That's where the Golden Loon was
Good
born.
old Vancouver.
Yeah. We're going to move on up into... What?
Oh. I was just going to say British Columbia is one of the most expensive places to live in Canada.
Yeah, and right now it's probably one of the most dangerous. So.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic up there. I fear for one of my old coworkers, frankly. He does volunteer work up there almost every year.
Yikes. I wish him the best. Justin, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing quite all right. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. We're going to move on up finally into 1900. William Harvey Carney became the first black U.S. soldier awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions in the Civil War at the Battle of Fort Wagner. Well, that took a while, but hey, finally, awesome. So... Then we got a victory battle here. 1901, the U.S. captured leader of Filipino rebels, Emilio Aguinaldo. Yeah. All right. And what else?
He looks like Gustavo.
What about an avocado?
He looks like Gustavo from Breaking Bad.
Slightly.
Oh.
Slightly.
Yeah, maybe a little.
But that's interesting. He was a revolutionary and first president of the Philippines. So we captured the leader of the rebels, and he still went on to become leader of the Philippines. So, all right, cool.
Oh, good for him.
Fight the power.
I
yeah.
guess.
We also have 1903. First automobile trip across the U.S. left San Francisco for New York, would later arrive July 26. Yeah, so that's wow. Dang, 1903. Can you imagine driving across country in one of those things? No suspension, no AC. You know, like. Actually, hold on a second. 1903 car. You know, just yeah. Imagine driving across the country from coast to coast in that.
And it was slower too.
Well, yeah. But, like, you're exposed to the elements.
I said it took until July.
Yeah. You're exposed to the elements, you know, like, you know, like, is there gas stations? Like, you know, like, what was the gas station situation back then? You know, like, today we still have it, you know, somewhat bad. Oh, like, you know, you're going on, like, a long stretch, you know, in the desert or such, you know, you're not going to see another station for, like, 20 miles. Well, how was it back then? 200? Like...
You look down, some of them had a top there.
Yeah, they can put a little top there. So you got that, but you're still, like, you know, your face is getting hit by the spray, the dust, you know, the wind, like...
The rain.
Yeah. Wow, and good luck to these people. Wow, that's crowded. So, anyway, let's move on up here. We also have 1903, while that was happening, we got the first direct primary election law in the U.S. was adopted by Wisconsin. Oh. Alright. Anyway, what else do we got here for you, Mr. Loki? Okay, whatever that. Let's just go to 1908.
1908. The first 1908 or the highlighted?
This one highlighted.
Alright, right on. Okay, the Great White Fleet. 1908, part of the Great White Fleet arrives in Puget Sound. Puget. Okay, I am terrible at pronunciations. Thank you, though. Puget Sound, Washington.
If you want, I could come in and help you. Like, I've been leaving you on your own to try to help you, like, enunciate it out. But if you want, I could come in and help you, like, the other way.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you can always ask. So let's do it that way.
Yeah. Okay. An event of interest. 1911. New York Public Library built at 5th Avenue, dedicated by, not to, President William Howard Taft.
Huh. All right.
Oh, that's cool.
Here we go.
1915. Italy declares war on Austria-Hungary during World War I. Yikes.
Ah. Yep. And actually, if you want, like, I remember there's a couple, like, I haven't seen their videos in a while, but there's a channel on YouTube called History Bombs, and they do, like, music videos and such about various things. There's, like, history of aviation, they have World War I, World War II, they have the Cold War, they have the space race, they have the history of flight, I think maybe I talked about that already. They have a lot of cool videos, and they're really well done.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to get you that one channel after the show I was telling you about yesterday.
Yeah, let me bring this up just in case I forget again. History Bombs. Here we go. Bring them up right there. Alright. Let's move on up.
1922, Walt Disney incorporates his first film company, Laugh-O-Gram Films. Interesting.
Huh. Alright. What else do we got here? I don't care about that. 1926, the Lebanese constitution formed under French mandate. So, alright, that's interesting. And here's a big one. 1934, U.S. outlaws Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, Bonnie and Clyde, were killed by police in an ambush near Saley's, Louisiana. Yep.
Oh, dear.
Bonnie and Clyde in their car riddled with bullets. They were not holding anything back. They wanted these people dead. And they got these people dead. So, We also got 1935. We got the first scheduled night game was postponed due to rain in Cincinnati. You know, that's a whatever article, but it's interesting nonetheless. So, and then I'll take this one. I don't want you to start off with a monster here. 1939, Adolf Hitler proclaimed he wanted to move into Poland. Okay, well, he did. Later on. Anyway, Mr. Loki, this next one, actually, this one's interesting.
1939, British Parliament plans to make Palestine independent by 1949.
Yeah, once again, the whole Israeli-Palestine thing, or Palestine-Israel, because Palestine, like, biblical Israel was there first, Palestine was there as well. You know, like, there's a whole kerfuffle about that. But right now in today's world, Palestine is not even recognized as an official nation anymore. And it is absolutely sickening that people don't see what's really going on. So, but anyway, what else do we have in 1939?
Again, in 1939, Dmitry Shostakovich. I don't think I said that right. Shostakovich.
Shostakovich, I believe.
Shostakovich. Appointed professor at Conservatory of Leningrad.
Yep. All right.
Russian names are difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, damn it. Would the stream behave for once with me?
How about now?
That's a little. Oh, good lord. There it is. So, 1939 again. Submarine USS Squalls sinks in the Gulf of Maine, drowning 25. Is that? I
Drowning
can't read
26.
it again. 25. 33 remaining. 25. 33 remaining crew rescued from a depth of 243 feet, 74 miles
Meters.
by divers using newly developed. Oh, I can't read it again. It's getting all blurry. Let's see if this helps. Heliox Air Systems. Divers later awarded the Medal of Honor.
Yeah. Like, back in those days and even in today, like, if you go down in a submarine, you might not be coming back out.
Yeah, that's the dangers of them.
Oh, so they were using one of these. It's some kind of lung protection. They were using whatever this machine is to dive down in there.
Wow.
Oh. All
To
right.
get them back out.
What else do we have here? 1941, in his 20th World Heavyweight Boxing title defense, Joe Louis knocks out Buddy Bear in round 1 at New York's Madison Square Garden. Just like, BAM! Stay down. There's a reason why I'm up here, bitch. You know? Like, round 1. That's insane. So, we also have 1943, Thomas Mann began writing his novel Dr. Faustus, which I've heard about it. I don't know its significance, but it's known for a reason. So, and then we also have in 1945. I'm going to take these two because they're kind of related here. 1945, Lord Haw Haw, aka William Joyce, or actually that's his actual name, was arrested at Danish boundary, and he was a fascist politician and Nazi propagandist. Lord Haw Haw. That was his nickname given to by the British because they found the things he had to say absolutely hilarious. Not because he was trying to be funny, but because he was being serious in his Nazi propaganda. So,
What a douche.
but then while that was happening, in 1945 as well, the Allies arrest the members of the Nazi Flensburg government, including Admiral Karl Donitz, formally dissolving Nazi Germany. Yes! The end of the Third Reich. Let us hope it never comes back as the fourth. Although I look around at the world today and I think we're in it. So, anyway, back to you. You got a baseball record here.
1948, future Baseball Hall of Famer center field Joe DiMaggio, that's a famous name,
Yeah.
hits 3 consecutive home runs as the New York Yankees edge the Indians 6-5 at Cleveland Stadium.
Nice.
Now, I know they changed the Indians' name and their mascot probably too. I think that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, all this political correct crap, like, you know, like if you don't like certain things in history, fine, but you got to acknowledge it. You can't rewrite it. You can't change things, because how else are we going to learn to what not to do? If you're offended by history, good. Then work towards it never repeating. You know, don't get rid of the past. Make the future better.
Here's my gripe with it. These mascots were implemented because they saw something awesome in those people.
Yes.
They weren't meant to demean or degrade or any of these other words that are trying to put down someone. None of that. These were some teams that wanted to uplift these images because they thought they were great.
Well, it's not just that.
No,
if you're gonna make a competitive team, you know, be it in sports or like, you know, in business or whatever, you know, you want to not strike fear really, but you want to strike respect out of your opponents.
Exactly.
You want them to think of your name and you know the background behind that and be like, hey, let's not take these people for granted. You know, like
and that's why the Redskins were a team.
Yeah.
They weren't meant to strike fear. They were to demand respect.
And back in those times, like, it's easy. Like, you know, hindsight is 20/20. It's easy to look back and be like, oh, that's a derogatory term. Well, it wasn't back then. The N-word wasn't a derogatory word back then. Thankfully, both words, you know, are recognized as what they are, but we're not taking what we should out of the times. We're looking at the bad, not at the good. You know, we're not looking at the respect that people are giving.
Christmas song.
So.
That's the same thing with that one Christmas song. Everybody says, oh, it's this, it's that. He's trying to rape her or whatever. It's
yeah. It's cold outside. Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, that song. Like, Jesus Christ, it's an old-ass song. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's a product of its time. You can't hold it to the same standards nowadays.
Absolutely
Times have changed, yes.
Yeah.
But, like, leave the song alone.
Yeah. If you don't like it, fine, don't listen to it. But, like, you know, like, as it said, like, you know, when you start trying to dictate my world based off your personal beliefs, that's when there's a problem. You know? Like, I don't have a problem with other people living the way that they want, but I will not live the way that they want if it contradicts the way I want to live. Live and let live. You know?
Exactly.
So.
We live in a clown world.
Oh. Honk, honk. I need to get a honk noise. Anyway, what happened in 1951 here?
Awooga. Yeah, 1951. Peter Ustinov's love of 4 colonials premieres in London.
I believe you were right at first. Colonels.
Oh, colonels. Okay.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah, no, colonel is spelled weird.
Yeah, colonials would have had an A.
Yeah.
Oof.
But I just realized the one right before what you read, actually, that's, I don't know why that's not highlighted, honestly. So.
Alright, oh dear. Okay, sort of coming back. Federal Republic of West Germany, created out of the American, British, and French occupation zones.
Yep.
Ah.
The East and West Germany and Berlin split between the rest of the Allies and Russia after World War II. So.
Nice.
Dude, like, think about this, and you're only like half a year, give or take, younger than me. So, you know, this is the same. You and I were both alive when the Soviet Union was still around. Can you believe that? You and I were still alive when Germany was still split after World War II. Can you believe that? Like,
that is crazy.
Yeah. This is why history is like so mind-blowing to me. It's like, dude, I've lived some things, you know? Like, granted I was young, but I was still around, you know?
I had a great grandmother that lived through history that lived up to 102.
Can you say
Yeah.
that? Like, you're really low.
Wow.
Is there any way you can, like shout in your mic or something? Because, like...
Oh, I was saying I had a grandmother that lived up to 102 and lived through history. I wish I got to ask her questions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, like some of the people I knew, like, my great-grandmother was born the year the Titanic sank. She grew up during World War One. She saw the Great Depression. No, she saw the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War Two, the space race. Like, could you imagine living that life? Just seeing, the past century. Like, we can look back and look at all this stuff. Imagine living through that. That must have been amazing. You know?
That must have been crazy seeing the first rocket go to the moon.
History being written in their very eyes. You know?
Yeah.
And they had yet to know it. They didn't even know.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know whose turn it was. Loki?
I think it's still on me.
Okay.
I think I got one more.
Well, this one I
Where
kind of
am I
want to cover,
going?
although we
Okay.
are starting to get a little strapped for time, so let's, yeah.
All right, 1951, 17-point agreement for the peaceful liberation of Tibet, signed in Beijing, normally establishes China, formally establishes China sovereignty over Tibet.
We saw how well that worked out.
Normally?
I don't know why. You did it twice. I'm just like, is this guy having a stroke?
I'm having an episode.
No, formally established Chinese sovereignty over Tibet. Like, that's not good. We saw how well that turned out, which is not good.
No.
And we're living a repeat of history with Hong Kong right now. Well, 3 years ago, at least. We're going to move on up here. We have 1958, Explorer 1 ceased transmission. And what was Explorer 1?
Oh. That's how it is.
Explorer 1 was the first... Come on. It was the first satellite launched by the United States in 1958, and was part of the U.S. participation in the International Geophysical Year. The mission followed the first two satellites the previous year, the Soviet Union Sputnik 1 and Sputnik 2, beginning the Cold War space race between the two nations. So that was our Explorer 1 was our response directly to Sputnik, and this is when it ceased operations. So I'm going to put that link in for the future. We got another event of interest here. In 1958, Mao Zedong starts his Great Leap Forward movement in China. Which, Mao Zedong, that worries me.
He was like a leader or a dictator, I think.
Yeah, he started the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, and all that stuff.
The Maoism.
It says here, the Great Leap Forward of the People's Republic of China was an economic and social campaign led by the Chinese Communist Party from 1958 to 1962. CCP Chairman Mao Zedong launched the campaign to reconstruct the country from an agrarian economy into a communist society through the formation of people's communes. So, just...
Didn't they used to give out like little red books too?
Yes, Mao Zedong's Little Red Book, notorious thing. So,
yeah. I learned about this guy once in high school.
He is not a good guy. He led one of the worst genocides in all of history. Like, some of the absolute worst people: Joseph Stalin, Mao Zedong, Pol Pot, Adolf Hitler. We focus so much on just one thing, we don't realize just how bad, the history is rife with this. Like, we gotta stop focusing all on the Holocaust. Yeah, it's bad, but there's worse out there. Like,
yeah.
So, and we got to realize that. We got to start acting in kind. So, anyway, 1958 as well, U.S. schools first used Cliff's Notes. Hey, I remember those. Pretty sure everybody here has used Cliff Notes. So, anyway, speaking of the Holocaust and whatnot, Mr. Loki.
1960, Israel announces capture of Nazi Adolf Eichmann in Argentina. Oh, wow.
Itchman. He's itchy. He just can't stop scratching. Like, yeah.
Itchy and Scratchy
John.
show.
The man is a rash. He really was a rash.
He probably, it's probably pronounced Eichmann or
It's
something
Eichmann.
like that.
It's Eichmann.
Eichmann?
Yeah.
Oh. My
Yeah.
bad. He does look like an itchy fellow.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be comfortable around him. I'll tell you that much.
I wouldn't either. Even though he's in a glass box, I wouldn't be comfortable sitting anywhere near.
Yeah.
All right, 1962, Joe Pepitone, second New York Yankee to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. Joe DiMaggio.
Ah, so
Yankees,
Joe DiMaggio must have been
New
the
York
first one.
represent, baby.
Yeah, Joe DiMaggio must have been the first one with that.
Yes. Then it was Pepitone.
Yeah.
1963, 16th Cannes Film Festival, The Leopard, directed by Luciano Visconti, wins the Palme d'Or.
Huh. All right. Ooh, here we go. Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. Moving on up to 1969, we got some film and TV history. BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, not the internet's form of, BBC. They ordered 13 episodes of Monty Python's Flying Circus. All right.
Right on.
Yeah.
Monty Python made some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then 1977, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear appeals of Watergate wrongdoers H.R. Hayden, John Ehrlichman, and John Mitchell. So they didn't want to hear them defending, which is not right, but they were totally guilty. But we should hear what they have to say. So their refusal to hear their appeals is absolutely, I would deem it unconstitutional because that goes against the First Amendment, freedom of speech. So, that's just me. Like, I don't care how guilty somebody is, everyone has a right to defend themselves.
Exactly.
Yep. Then we also got some music history. In 1979, U.S. rock singer-songwriter Tom Petty filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That is poor pity to the petty. So, drove my Chevy to the levee and pity the petty. I don't know. Anyway, I think that was my 3.
All right, 1980, 33rd Cannes Film Festival, All That Jazz, directed by Bob Fosse and Kagmusha, directed by Akira Kurosawa, jointly awarded the Palme d'Or.
All right. I wish I knew what the Palme d'Or was. We've talked about that a lot. So.
Palme d'Or is some kind of award, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, no, I figured that much. Just want to know exactly what its semantics are. We have the Academy Awards, we have the Grammys, we have these. So obviously it's something involving movies.
I'm assuming the Palme d'Or is some European award. Most likely.
It has to be the European, equivalent of whatever the names I just said, the Grammys, whatever.
Oh, good lord. 1980. Horror film The Shining released. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, based on book by Stephen King.
Yep.
Ay.
Ooh. Yeah, the murder of interest. The murder most foul.
1981. Peter Sutcliffe is convicted for the Yorkshire Ripper murders of 13 women at the Old Bailey in London and sentenced to life sentences for each.
Ha ha ha! 13 consecutive life sentences. Life sentences.
He's never seen the light of day ever again.
He died. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Boy, he killed himself.
Wow.
Let me see.
Wow. I can't believe this. He died in 2020 at the age of 74 because of COVID-19 complications.
Oh,
wow. Wow.
Are you
Wow.
fucking kidding me?
Oh my god.
What? Are you serious?
Conspiracy!
Oh my
I call
god.
conspiracy!
Oh my god.
Whoa.
He did not die of COVID, he got shanked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no way it was just COVID.
Yeah, but like at risk of sucking
No
up even
way,
more time, like
COVID.
this reminds me of something that actually happened. There was a prisoner. There was a prisoner who was serving a life sentence, and like I don't know if he had like a heart attack or something, but like he did technically die, and then they resuscitated him, and then he was saying, "Hey, I served my life sentence, set me free." I would say he did. If he's technically died, then he served his life sentence. You know, like.
Wait, I got a weird question about technically life sentence. What if someone got the death penalty, right?
Yeah.
Not lethal injection, survived. Like, what happens then? Are they considered dead?
No. If they survive the death
They just
penalty,
get
they're still
another
alive. The
injection.
penalty has not been enforced.
Oh,
So,
really?
You
That's
gotta
okay.
kill them.
Yeah,
Now, if they actually
they
do
just get
die,
another injection, or like they get another method.
like if they actually do die, if they flatline, if it's confirmed somehow they just come back,
Oh.
then they've served their death penalty. So,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, what if they die, then come back, and then, like,
oh
do
yeah,
they technically die? Do they get another chance at life, in a way?
I would say yes. You know,
Some
Like-
people would say no. That's the funny thing. I know so many people that would say that not really. That's really
well, a lot of
interesting.
people are just insatiable and they just want blood. So,
You'd be surprised
That's
with
true.
so many answers I hear. Because it's a very interesting question, It gets you to think on that one.
that's a thinker,
Someone,
definitely. But let's
Well-
move on up here. What else happened in 1981? We got some sports history here.
81, Puerto Rican boxer Wilfred Benitez, 22, becomes the youngest third division world champion in history by knocking out WBC World Super Welterweight
Yeah.
champion Maurice Hope in 12 rounds in Las Vegas.
Dang.
What is welterweight?
It's one of the weight. There's heavyweight, lightweight, middleweight, welterweight. I don't know what welterweight is, but it's one of the weights. Let's look it up here.
Intriguing.
Welterweights. Welterweight, a professional boxer weighing between 140 to 147 pounds. An amateur boxer weighing between 140 to 148 pounds. Wow, they're light. They're
that sounds about like
Damn.
that's my weight. That sounds like me.
like,
Oh, you're a welterweight, eh?
I'm like 158 approximately.
dude, I can't believe this picture. This guy is up to 147 and 148 pounds. Like, there's no way. Like, he's that light. He's just too
Well,
massive.
Well, you got.
I weigh a little heavier than him,
Oh, yeah.
but he probably takes some steroids. There's no way.
Well, see, like, I'm 220, 230 pounds. There's no way this guy is like, what, 80 pounds lighter than me and that ripped? Like, I don't know.
But he's not. But he's not natty. I definitely can sense it.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention, like, also muscle weighs significantly more than fat.
Yeah, well, muscle and fat are the two heaviest substances inside the body. So,
Yeah.
anyway, moving on up to
So, we're
1982,
moving-
Pope John Paul II declares Perky Donders as saint. Cool. So, canonization. And then
Cool.
we have a film release in 1984. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, second film in the series, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, and produced by George Lucas as Lucasfilms premiered. All right.
Oh shit, George Lucas.
Yeah.
He's a goat.
Good old
He made
George.
Star Wars.
Yep. 1984, the crime epic film Once Upon
Robert.
a Time in America, directed by Sergio Leone, starring Robert De Niro and James Woods, premiered at Cannes. All right. And then Presidential Medal of Freedom, 1985.
Cool.
President Ronald Reagan awarded Jimmy Stewart the Presidential Medal of Freedom and promoted him to Major General on the retired list. Huh, that's interesting. And then we got the Cannes Film Festival, 1989, the 42nd Cannes Film Festival. Sex, Lies, and Videotape, directed by Steven Soderbergh, wins the Palme d'Or. All right. And then what else do we have? We're in the 80s. I don't care about that. What?
We keep hearing about the Palm.
Palme d'Or. Here's one interesting. 1980. Actually, we passed it. 1988. Maryland stopped the sale of cheap pistols on January 1st, 1990. So you can no longer buy cheap pistols in Maryland.
Let's get some quality.
Yeah. Or maybe we just get the same crap with a higher price tag. You know?
Oh God.
Capitalism.
That would happen.
Yeah. But back to you, Mr. Loki. I think I've already stepped on you twice. But let's move on up here to this one. This is concerning.
Okay. Oh God, my vision just went blurry. There we go. U.S. Supreme Court bars subsidized clinics from discussing abortion. Oh dear.
That goes against the First Amendment. So.
Indeed.
Straight up, not even not even allowing it to be a topic to be discussed on the table. It's like, what if she was a victim of a struggle snuggle? What if she was a victim of, very bad family relations? Like, not even talking about that. Like, you have to have the kid. Come on, give people a chance. So. Ooh, this one's.
I read that hockey one, quite a shutout.
That one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
NHL Prince of Wales Conference Final. Pittsburgh Penguins beat Boston Bruins 4-0.
4 games,
What
not
a
just score.
shutout.
4 games. Wow.
4 games. Oh, that's even worse. 4 games.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Talk about getting shut right out.
Yeah. And if you don't mind,
Anyway, where did you want me to go?
That one, and then George Bush here. So, which will make it 4, but whatever.
Does that say Sicilian?
Sicilian.
I can't read it for some reason. Sicilian mafia bombs motorcade, killing anti-mob prosecutor Giovanni Falcone and his wife and 3 police escorts on Highway A29 near Capaci, Sicily.
Ah.
Oh wow.
Giovanni Falcone. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Excuse me.
Batman Falcone. Carmine Falcone. That's his name. I know Falcone is a crime boss in the Batman universe. I was just wondering, did they literally name this guy, word for word? But no, his name is Carmine Falcone, not Giovanni. But still, he's a Falcone. So, that's kind of a stick in an eye. This guy was an anti-mob prosecutor, and then DC turned around and used his namesake for a vicious criminal, and yikes. Anyway.
Batman villain.
Yeah.
All right, 1992, U.S. President George H.W. Bush. So, is this Bush Sr. then?
Yes. George Herbert Walker Bush.
All right. Orders Coast Guard to intercept boats with Haitian refugees.
Haitian. From Haiti.
Haitian.
Yeah.
Oh, Haitian.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I would never have gotten that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's why I said, you know what, go ahead and ask for help. Because I've tempered myself not to, come in and correct people. As I said, I try to let them do it themselves. But if you ask for help, I'll be more than happy. But yeah, essentially, he's like, oh, we don't want no more Haitian refugees. Stop it. So, Complete.
Yeah,
complete,
they would just pour in like some
Yeah.
other people are coming in nowadays.
Yeah. Gonna move on up
I
to
don't want to be
1994.
hateful
We got
on
the
that,
47th.
yeah.
I'm sorry. What? What'd you say?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying I don't want to be hateful on the whole problem, but it's just too much. Too many people.
It is a serious problem. Like, yes, I'm all for people coming into this country, but there are ways to do it. Like, we gotta know who you are, we gotta know where you're coming from, why you're coming here. We need.
Come the right way.
We need
the front door, not the back door.
Like, by all means, come here, but work with us to find a place for you to work, to live, to aid in society. Don't just come here and exist and take, So, anyway, 1994, we have the 47th Cannes Film Festival. Pulp Fiction, directed by Quentin Tarantino, won the Palme d'Or, of course. Pulp Fiction, great movie. So, which I don't think I've seen the whole. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Excuse me.
Then we also have in 2000, here we go, Eminem released his third studio album, the Marshall Mathers LP. It was the fastest ever selling studio album, Grammy Best Rap Album of 2001. Hell yeah, Eminem. So,
Wow.
It's not that I'm a fan of his or I enjoy his music. Some of his music is good. I'm not really like, my music repertoire goes from 90s gangsta, F the Police rap to classical opera to trance techno, violin, orchestra, big band. Like, I like everything. But I respect him as what he's done.
Great.
Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem, he's a fighter. And he has fought tooth and nail to get where he's at today, and he should be respected for that. So.
Yeah, he's suffered a lot. He's overcame adversity to leaps and bounds, frankly.
Oh yeah. But we also have 2001. Here's something insane. Marco Siffredi became the first person to snowboard down Mount Everest via the Northern Cordillera. Some share record accreditation with Stephen Gadd. I don't really know what that means. Snowboarding down Mount Everest. Holy crap, bro.
That's insane, man. Like, why?
Well,
I know why, just to do it.
Well, see, here's the thing.
To be the first.
Climbing Mount Everest, despite, hundreds of people already having done now, it's still a feat. The amount of people who've done it, doesn't matter if it's one, it doesn't matter if it's a million. It's still hard. Well, on top of that, he dragged a snowboard up there with him because there certainly isn't a chairlift. So,
No! Yeah, you're dragging that weight with you.
Yeah. So... we also have, in 2003, here's something interesting in economic history. The euro exceeded its initial trading value as it hit $1.18 what's the currency exchange or whatever it is. This was for the first time since its introduction 4 years prior in 1999. All right.
Wow.
Then 2006, we got the 41st Academy of Country Music Awards. Kenny Chesney, Sarah Evans, and Keith Urban won. We can skip these music things. I really don't care about awards stuff, honestly. We should actually probably put in a thing where we don't really talk about sports and music and whatnot unless it's really interesting or historically significant. That's something else I want to bring up in the meeting, or maybe just start practicing tomorrow. Anyway, it's your turn. You can take what you want.
That's an alright idea.
Yeah. Do you want to take this music?
Yeah, I'll do the... Sure, why not?
All
2007, American singer-songwriter Paul Simon receives Library of Congress Gershwin Prize at the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. Wow.
Huh. All right.
That's a lot of names.
This is sports, whatever.
2013. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's sports and music. Good lord.
Okay.
Double whammy.
Let's see here. 2014, 2016. Here's an interesting one.
Oh, if only the reading would be good. Chinese archaeologist announces findings of earliest use of barley in China to make beer. Shanxi
Shanxi, I believe.
province.
Sorry.
Shanxi province, 3,400 to 2,900 BC.
Wow.
Oh, Lord, that's long.
Beer's been around for a while.
Yeah, good Lord.
Yeah.
Meeting of interest. 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump meets Pope Francis at the Vatican.
Ah.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Yes, hi. Kitty.
We're gonna move on up
2018,
to
Hamburg, Germany. Oh, what?
No, go for it.
Oh, sorry, am I stepping on you?
No. I thought I was stepping on you.
Hamburg,
So.
Germany. I don't know which one was stepping on who anymore.
Just read.
2018, Hamburg, Germany becomes the first city to ban diesel cars on some roads. Oh, wow.
Huh, that's not nice. What did diesel ever do to you? No.
Yeah, really? Stop banning Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Well, not Vin Diesel. I was thinking about Shaquille O'Neal, the Diesel. You know? Or Vin Diesel. Both of them. So. And actually, we skipped over one. My bad. Going back a couple years, or 1 year here, 2017, Library of Al-Qarawiyyin, the world's oldest continually operating library, reopened after a major restoration by King Mohammed VI in Fez, Morocco. All right. And that, yeah, by the way, the little hats, the Fez, you know, that's why it's called that. They were invented in the city of Fez, Morocco. So the hat is named after the city, and I want a Fez. So
I kind of want a Fez.
Like, they look so weird.
Cool
I love
little
it.
hats.
So I for those of you who do not know, I am a collector of hats. So yeah. But we also have 2019. This one's really disgusting, but 50 children were rescued from an international... I'm not going to read that word. People who love children a little too much ring on the dark web in Thailand, Australia, and the U.S. by Interpol under Operation Blacklist. Main organizer sentenced to 146 years. Good. And Interpol, I believe, is a British thing, so they were looking into Thailand, Australia, and the U.S. The Brits were. That's incredible. Like, we are a global society, you know? Like, we also have 2019 Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP, won re-election in a landslide over the opposition Congress Party, world's largest ever democratic election with over 600 million voters. Wow. That is incredible. That's a lot of voters.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Then, back to you, 2019. Yikes.
I'm losing sight again. Half the images. Why does this keep happening to me?
I don't know, man.
2019, more than 170 tornadoes reported in a week in U.S. state of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Iowa, killing 7 and causing widespread damage. It only killed 7?
Yeah, 170 tornadoes in a week across 3 states. That is insane.
Oh, well, I don't want to say this, but thankfully it only killed 7 people.
Yeah, well, remember that tornado we talked about, the EF4, which was 2.5 miles wide, only killed 1 person. Like, how is the number so low? I mean, I'm thankful, but how? Like,
I just wish it was no people, but that's
here's
thinking, really.
Here's the craziness of life. You know, you have these tornadoes, you have all these disasters, you know, like, and it was with low death tolls, and that's all well and good. But then some guy named like Carl Schmoo is out in like Pennsylvania, and he chokes to death on a pea. Like, what the hell?
On a pea? What the fuck?
And pea is and AP as in like the vegetable, not urine. So,
Yes, I know. Thanks.
Yeah. But right
I made
after that, that's
mistake one
interesting right
time
there.
on the other show. I still can't read it. There we go. Prototype of new 2019. Prototype of new high-speed train that will float above the tracks, capable of traveling 600 kilometers an hour, 370 miles per hour, unveiled by Chinese Railway Rolling Stock Corporation in Qingdao or Qingdao.
Yeah. Qingdao, I think you had it right. I don't know the first time.
I,
But
I'm bad with
if
some.
well, we all are. Like I'm no
But
perfect
a
linguist myself.
a floating train seems insane.
Maglev. It's just using magnets.
That just seems insanely just crazy. Like
Well, like-
technology is just astounding.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's a maglev. It's more or less the same operation as a railgun. They're using magnets to propel something, but instead of firing you as ammunition, they're just propelling you along the track. Roller coasters have maglevs, like the launch ones. Like they use magnets.
Oh yeah, some of them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not really maglev, but it's mag propulsion. But same general idea. So, but like I do got to give commendations to China for being dreamers, but there's no way in hell that they're capable of doing something like this. So, like, anyway.
Oh, they already have magnet trains anyway.
Yeah. Then speaking of, well, I'm going to take this next one. 2019, 6 migrant children have now died in U.S. custody in 8 months, prompting calls for an investigation. And I think I don't think that's untrue, but I think this is like a political swing at Trump because he was president at the time. And everybody's so quick to yell at Trump about all the caged Mexican children at the border, but they're so quick to forget that Obama is the one who set that up, Like,
yeah, they forget everything Obama did and blame Trump for it.
Orange man bad, Orange man hating me, I'm Hufflepuff, man and me. God.
Same thing with the Biden administration. They blame the previous administration for all their problems.
Yep. Well, that just tells me, if somebody is incapable of admitting their own fault, then they're not worth interacting with. So.
No, Biden needs to go.
Yeah. Then also 2021, and I remember hearing about this. 21 runners died in freezing conditions during an ultramarathon in Yellow River Stone Forest Park, Gansu Province, China.
Lord.
Like that sucks, but at the same time, you know what? Anybody like I understand, like competition and like striving to join marathons, to join the Olympics, to join these other great things, not just in sports but in other things. But with China doing the way it was doing back then, which is same as today is a little worse, but if I had been training my entire life, I would have just said, you know what, screw it. I don't want to go to China because I don't support them. Like, I don't support what they're doing to the world, to their own people. I'm not going to get heavily into that, but I'm not going to go over there and compete in a sport in a land that is terrorizing the world. I just don't want association. So it sucks that those 21 runners died, but everybody who was involved, as far as I'm concerned, working with China, they're less than human. I'm sorry. Like, if we're gonna make the world a better place, we gotta start doing it. So I may be a little bit of extreme in that mentality, but I don't know. Anyway, moving on up, sports, and then Brandon. Here we go. Speaking of China, 2022, just last year, Brandon said for the first time he would be willing to use force to defend Taiwan against the Chinese invasion. And I remember when that was a big deal. Like, up until then, he was always, on China's side, and did he flip-flop? But I believe just because his handlers are telling him to do that and such. But then we also have
I think it's because of what, I think it's also because of what Putin is, doing his deals with China. They're telling Joe, no, don't deal with China anymore because Putin is
Oh yeah.
getting like uppity with China now.
But it's really concerning
So-
that Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia are working towards making their own petrodollar to compete and eventually overthrow the U.S. dollar. Which, like, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't want us to be in the position we're at, but I sure as hell don't want them to take it over. You know, like lesser of two evils. I don't like using that term, but in this situation, I'm gonna have to go with the lesser of two evils and support us. So,
Yeah.
but in that vein of thinking,
But
our
last thing.
in that vein of thinking, our last but not least article here, 2022 as well. Brandon, with countries including India, South Korea, and Japan, launched the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework in Tokyo, which is an economic alliance of Asia-Pacific nations to counter Chinese influence. So, like, I'd never thought I'd ever say this, but I agree with Brandon on this. But I don't think he's doing this because
I was
it's
gonna
right.
say, is this like a good thing though?
I know, right? Like, well, both of these articles are good things. I'm just flabbergasted, you know. But like, it's all a checkerboard, like, or a chessboard. We're all being played, and you know, whenever somebody you know is evil does something right, then you gotta start questioning why they're doing it. What's their political motivation? Are they gonna turn what we want against us? You know. So.
Exactly. What's their angle?
Yeah. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Central.
And 2 Eastern.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
I am Loki Lycan.
And earlier we had, he keeps changing his name, I'll just call him Swanson. He was here for a little bit, part of the live studio audience, so to speak. And of course, you viewer are you, and until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in some notable events, weather, and sports, the Omni Coalition News Show, aka Talkness, is coming up at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. You can go to Google and figure out your time zone yourself. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, well, actually, I already did that. Until you catch us tomorrow, or later today, or whenever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!